Hey, what's up, everybody? It is Friday, November 25th. Today, we're going to talk about AI. We're going to talk about Midjourney specifically. Appreciate you guys joining me. It looks like we've got a few people hopping on here already. Thanks so much. Happy Thanksgiving. You can see I'm wearing my Clark Griswold Christmas sweater, ready to go. All right, so let's just jump right into this thing. Right, in terms of what we're talking about today is Midjourney, being able to create items like this instantly within seconds. Like, it is insane what we're able to do in terms of packaging. You can, imagine designing this specific item in less than a minute, right? Without having to do any actual technical design using software, math, it's like super easy. So I just want to share this with you guys. It's, um, look at this, the color, all of these different things that you can do in Midjourney are amazing. So anybody that's, one, as we typically kick off here, one of the things, um, wherever it is that you're listening from, wherever it is that you're watching from, just go ahead and throw it in the comments. Let us know. It's always great just to see where people are tuning in from. During the week, we have a few different shows. We've got the packaging today show on Mondays. We'll do a show on Wednesdays, and this one, of course. And we're getting people from all over the planet. So do me a favor, just throw it in the comments, like where you're watching from. Would love to hear where you're at. And we're about to get started. So let's see how. So again, just a quick recap here. The goal of today is this is a quick class. And it seems like you're going to need to know a ton of things in order to create something like this, but you're not. I'm going to show you step by step how to achieve instant design like this, whether it's from your phone, your desktop, or some kind of a tablet. It's super, super easy. So if you've seen if you saw the invitation to this class, you'll know how quick, what it is that we really needed to do and what we needed to do. We got Gene coming in from Brooklyn. Dude, it makes me hungry for pizza. We got Kansas City, barbecue. Look at that. And Tennessee. What do you guys have in Tennessee besides Elvis? I mean, you guys have a lot of stuff. You got a ton of music. But I'm just trying to think of like food, like what's whiskey. Bam. Look at that. Nailed it. All right. So we're just jumping right in. All right, guys. So what's up? Thanks a lot, Seth. So these are the URLs that you need to have already loaded. We're going to just jump right in and like make the stuff work. Right. So I've been designing packaging for over 15 years. Bags, boxes, bottles, cosmetics, like all sorts of different items in packaging. And I've never seen anything like this. I mean, I'm at this point with Midjourney, and I'll kind of explain what it is and how to load it and how to get things done. So by the end of this class, you should be able to create your own packaging. I've never seen anything like this. I mean, I've designed about over 1,000 packs in the last week, which is insane in terms of the volume and of the quality. Of those 1,000, you can then kind of whittle it down in some, really beautiful pieces of packaging. There's some that are really weird. You can take out, but it's just really good. So again, by the end of this class, you're gonna be able to design your own packaging for retail, for luxury, for food, for pet products, whatever it is that you're working on, you can design packaging for it. And maybe something you don't even know what you're working on, you might be able to just create something interesting really quick. The other Memphis barbecue is better than KC barbecue. That sounds like there's a fight. All right, so then again, you can create glass stand-up pouches, bags, boxes, cans, whatever type of packaging, even like crazy packaging again that you haven't even considered. So before we get started, here's just a quick understanding of what you're going to be using. You're going to be using Discord, and I'll pull it up on screen, show you what it is. Discord is an app. Or just close it here. So Discord is basically like Snapchat. It's like WeChat. It's like it's a place where you can go and have a dialogue with other people. Right? It's a voice over IP website, and the reason that you need it in this case is that Midjourney works through Discord. That's how you communicate, right? It's a communications channel, right? So this is Discord, discord.com. Make sure that you've got this. You create an account on here because essentially what you're doing is you are talking to a computer, right, to another software platform. In order for that communication to happen, it's got to go through Discord. That's basically your phone line into this conversation. So make sure that you have that. Then you're going to be using Midjourney, which is um, it's Midjourney is basically a company, right? It's a lab. They call it a lab, but it's basically a company, and they make money, right? You've got subscriptions, all these different things. But what they're doing is they're providing this AI program that they're making a killing on. Um, and I want to make it clear that it's a business and it's not like just some free service. But what's great about it is that since you're paying for it, you're not so much the product as much as you are part of the system. But you're gonna need that tool. It's in open beta test right now, and I'm gonna pull that up here. But when you log on to midjourney.com, you're gonna see this matrix deal. Right, you're gonna go down here. You're gonna click join the beta, and what that's gonna do is it's gonna give you an invitation to join. You're gonna connect to it via your Discord channel. It'll give you all the steps that you need in order to do that. Super simple, super quick. You should have done this already before the class. If you haven't, do it. It doesn't take very long. But let's go ahead and just kind of jump in on how to create different things on here. And there's a mobile app, a desktop. You can do it on, wherever you want. I prefer to do it on the desktop version. It makes it a lot easier to function. You have a lot more. There's a lot more tools available to you. But let's kind of knock this thing out. I think you guys are done hearing about like all these different components, and you want to see some stuff being created. I know I do. So I'm going to pull this up. I'm going to pull up my Midjourney page, my profile. All right, so this is my profile. You can see all of the packs. You can see all the packs that have been created. I mean, there's endless amounts of them, crazy number of them. And you can create all of this stuff yourself, like super quick. So I'm going to pull up Midjourney itself so you can see what this looks like. If you have any questions or if there's anything that you'd like to see created while we're doing this, then let me know, because it might be kind of fun to create something cool. Okay, so this is Midjourney. Right? Doesn't look super crazy. Doesn't look super. I don't know. It's not scary at all. I'm going to hide this ticker across the bottom so we can see the most important part, which is the prompt window down here at the bottom. And all right, so Midjourney. So I'm paying. You can get on. You get free like 25 creations right off the bat. After that, you've got to pay for it. I think it was like a $10 one, which limits you to 250 generations per month. Like I said in the last week, I've done over 1,000. So 250 is just like a taste. I'm doing about $30 a month on this stuff here. And it makes just a ton of sense. There's one thing people always ask about are the copyrights, like who owns this product. All right. So first question, who owns the copyright? Well, I didn't create it, right? I put a prompt in, so I don't own it. The AI created it, so there's really nobody that owns that image that was created because it's out of anybody's physical control. So at the moment, there's really no laws in terms of copywriting here. And because this is public, like anything that I create, you can go onto my Midjourney page and you can see what I've created, and you can interact with other people's creations. You can go in and you can, copy it. You can create your own version of it. You can tweak theirs. You can download theirs. It's pretty wide open. So this isn't something that you can use for. It's not something that I would recommend that you use to do like actual packaging creation that you're going to sell to a client. At the moment, it's more of like concept and development. It's like creating mood boards, creating just an idea of like, hey, is this what you're talking about? Is this what you're interested in? Um, Gives you a lot of quick ideas and helps you land on that direction. For resolution, you can go pretty high. And I'll kind of show you some of that stuff as well. So, all right. So we've talked about the page, Discord, Midjourney. Um, there's a fee, up to $30 a month. You can pay an additional $20 a month, I believe, to keep it private so that other people can't see what you're creating. At the moment, I don't quite care so much if people see what I'm creating on the public channels, but maybe at some point I will. All right, so let's create something using Midjourney. Thinking about this as this is it's artificial intelligence, right? So if we think about ourselves when we were kids, you know, we were pretty dumb. The older we get, the more experience we get, the more things we're exposed to, the smarter we get, the more experience we have to pull from. Um, this is on version 4 at the moment. And when we looked at version 1, the design that was coming out of it was terrible. They all kind of looked the same. Faces were weird and eyes weren't facing the same direction. They didn't even look like eyes. As it's created more and more items, it's learned more and more. So, the first thing I did here is, I typed in cardboard box. Right. And the reason I typed in cardboard box is that I wanted to see what Midjourney considered a cardboard box. Make sure it even knows what I'm talking about. Right. And then I did the same thing with a stand-up pouch. These are all like this is the closest thing to a real stand-up pouch, but then these have like zippers on them. This one's kind of cool, but it has like a zipper on it. This is almost like a draw cord with a zipper. But at least it tells me it knows what a stand-up pouch is. Right. So if you're creating something in packaging, you want to make sure that it knows what you're even talking about because it may not have been exposed to something specifically in packaging, right? There's not a lot of people creating packaging design with Midjourney at the moment. These are paper bags. So again, you can see like a handle, it's an open at the top. It automatically made it craft and specify craft. It tells me that it knows what these things are. If I was going to go in and create, like, let's say a mycelium EPS replacement foam insert for a cup, it's probably not going to know what the hell that is, right? It probably hasn't seen it before. So it has to learn. So over time. So before you get started on anything, whatever it is that you're designing, bag, box, bottle, just type in the very basic, right? So if we're going to do a bottle, for example, like we would just type in glass bottle and let's go ahead and do it just so you can see this thing work. Before we do that though, I'm going to adjust my settings. And the reason I'm going to adjust my settings, I want to make sure it's going on fast mode. Perfect. So now I'm going to you type in a slash, and then you type in imagine. Right? Basically what that is, it's the prompt. You're telling the AI, this is what I want you to do. I want you to imagine something. If you don't do that, it doesn't work. Right? This is the cue. So we're talking about glass bottle. Type in glass bottle, hit return. We're about to see what it thinks is a glass bottle. Right. So let's go ahead while it's working. It's at 0% at the moment. It'll take just a second here. Sometimes it's a little bit faster, sometimes it's a little bit slower, but it's usually pretty quick. So what I want to do is let's create some packaging for a product. Like we'll be really specific, and then you can throw in some comments in here in terms of what kind of packaging you'd like to see, what kind of product. But I've got kind of a list of stuff that we can do here. One, I just want to make sure that we're not thinking that this is going to replace everybody in the entire design process. It's not. It's another tool, and if you know how to use it, then you're going to be that much better off. Quick question here from Chris: what format's deliverable? JPEGs. These are all JPEGs. These are not 3D renders that you can spin around. There's no vector. It's just a JPEG flat image. So great question. So you're still going to need a strategy team. They're going to help you identify what your product is, who the market is. They still have a job to do. You're still going to need a design team, or as a designer, you're still going to need to deliver on your skill set, like what it is that you do, because you still have to design everything around the idea. So if you're the designer, maybe creating a mood board, like this is a great way to go. We can take a look at these bottles. Glass bottle. This is what it came up with. Right, we got green liquid. We got corks. We got these snap lids. I can't remember what those are called, but it tells me it knows what a glass bottle is. So if we're going to go ahead and create something, and this is Hey, Ariel, I'll post a link to it so you can watch it afterwards. But thanks so much for joining, man. All right, so here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna jump right in. We're gonna go ahead and create something. What I've got, I haven't typed anything in yet. I haven't typed this in before. I haven't taught it anything. It's just like right off the bat. We're gonna do a chocolate bar wrapper, right? That's the product. So we have to create a prompt, right? It's all about crafting the prompt that we type in there where it says imagine. All right, so we're gonna click here. You do the slash. You type in imagine or you click imagine. Next, it's a chocolate bar, right? So we're gonna do chocolate bar. It's gonna be a paper wrapper. People do put a comma after this. I haven't been, and it's working great. So I'm just going straight across. So chocolate bar, paper wrapper. But what do we want it to do? We want it to design packaging, right? So it's going to be chocolate bar, paper wrapper, packaging, design, right? If you're designing something else, I don't know if you're doing meat or beverage or whatever, throw in packaging design because it will be able to identify like, okay, this is what you want me to do. You want me to design this packaging, right? So packaging design space. Now we want to throw in some adjectives. In this case, I want to do a friendly feeling, right? We want it to communicate. It's not aggressive. We want this packaging, we want this branding to be friendly. The chocolate is all natural and organic. I'm going to put in here from Madagascar, right? I'm a chocolate snob. And who do we want this target to be? We want this to be athletic and feminine. Why not? Um, Now, what kind of a style do we want? Right. So now we've got what it is, chocolate, packaging design, what type of a feel, what describes this, and this could be part of the brief as well. So if you get a great brief, you can just take bits of it, plug it in here, and see what it comes back with, and you can then share that with whoever's put the brief together and go, hey, is this kind of the direction you want me to go in? Because they might go yeah, or they might say no. Right. So we've gone through chocolate bar paper wrapper, packaging design. It's going to feel friendly, all natural. It's from Madagascar, and it's feminine and athletic. Now, what kind of a style? Now we're going to do uh, skateboarding, right? That has its own style. We're going to do skate culture. Um, and then what kind of brands work within skateboarding and that skate culture, right? There's like Supreme, and Supreme, it'll be able to pull um, at least an aesthetic or have an idea of kind of the direction, right? It's not going to feel like Hello Kitty because that's not what we're typing in here. We got Supreme, um, maybe get some street art in here. So like a Banksy, and it's not going to design it as if it was Banksy designing it. It's just having an idea of where you're going. You can ask it to design it as if it was Banksy, but that's not cool. I'm going to put in Mark Gonzalez. All right, Mark Gonzalez, skater, artist, does some pretty cool stuff. Now, what do we want it to do? We can hit return right now and see what it delivers, or we can put in that we want to render, we want to photograph. It'll give you a different results in either one of those. We can ask for a sketch, and it'll show it as if it was sketched out by hand, or a sculpture, right? So if you wanted a glass bottle, a sculpture might be what you want to do. But what I want to do is I want to do photography. And what kind of photography do I want? I want to do editorial photography. So editorial photography. Why editorial photography? Because it's going to have a different style, and it'll keep the product, the focus. You'll have lighting on one side. You'll get some shadows in there. You want me to put in a store shelf? Let me hit return here, and then I'll do a store shelf. Right. So that while that's generating, I'm just going to copy this. Right. I'm going to copy that. I'm going to hit a slash here, hit imagine, do that, and now I'm do in a store, the grocery shelf, and see what that comes back with. Right. So now, as we wait for this to come and start building, you can see it's starting to generate something. You can click on it. You've got faces, you've got colors happening here. Um, it, you have to unclick it to see kind of where it's going. You see the progression. This is starting to feel kind of interesting. You may not want a face, right? You may come back and say, no people, right? Or just graphics, or um, might pull in an artist or an illustrator or something like in terms of a style. You can see how this is like shaping up. The one in the store shelf, oh, there's a store shelf happening in the background. We'll see what happens here. All right, so this guy's done. All right, so instantly you have, like I said, editorial photography. You're going to get some lighting on the side. You're going to get shadows happening here. This one, you've even got some pieces of chocolate. This is a great place to start. Are these amazing designs? No, by no means. Um, these feel a little bit better. I really like these. We're getting some beautiful color here. I think this color is coming from the Madagascar prompt. These are very much in line with that, with the colors, the art from that region. You've got it on a nice craft background. So you have a lot of really cool things happening here. This one does have a store shelf in the background, but it's not what you wanted, right? It's not what you were asking for, Gene. I do love this one here. So let's say we want, this one. So what you do is you've got these buttons down below. You have U1, 2, 3, 4, right? So it goes 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm going to click this again. You've got this one is number 1. This is number 2, number 3, number 4. U is for upscale. Do you want it to make it larger? Oh, I love this one, so I'm going to make it larger, right? Or you've got V underneath. V is a variant, a variation. So you can pick any one of those and click variation, and it'll give you variations of that design. So let's say we want number 2 to be upscaled. Right, it's going to go ahead and upscale that, and you'll see what you get. It'll make it large. It's not super high res, but if you want super high res, it'll give you the option then at that point to do that. But let's say we want, I don't know, this one here for some reason. We want to change it. So I'm going to click on V4. This is the prompt that I use. Now, if I want to change something, what if I do, maybe instead of skateboarding, skate culture, it'll change it a little bit. It's kind of limited in terms of how much you can do. We'll do tattoo face. I don't know. Let's see what happens. I don't know why, but let's see. Right. So you can see this one. This is like a rough. Think of it like a marker comp, right? Where it's pretty rough. Now that we've made it large, your details get a lot tighter. So she looks a little bit different. She actually looks a little bit younger. And you've got a little bit more color, a little bit more detail happening here. Right. So if you're designing a chocolate bar, Hershey and Kit Kat are different sizes. Do I have an option? You do. You do. You can specify like a small chocolate bar, large chocolate bar. But I think with Hershey and Kit Kat, if you were to use Kit Kat as the prompt, it'll show you the sizes, or you can even add images. You can download an image from the web of a Kit Kat and upload it here, and that becomes kind of the inspiration, and then you can type over it. But as you can see here with these, we changed that prompt of that girl. We added tattooed face, and we've got 4 different women with different tattoos on their face, right? Pretty nuts. If we wanted to make a couple of changes, right? And I'm just using chocolate bar. If you guys want me to design something else, go ahead and throw it in the comments. This is kind of like an easy way to do it. Just prompts. We've got what it is, chocolate bar. We've got paper wrapper, right? We can change it to plastic wrapper. Let's go to a plastic wrapper. Doing packaging design. It still feels friendly, all natural, organic, Madagascar, athletic female. What the expectation is we want photography. We want it on a grocery store shelf. Maybe we'll do it in a we're going to move this editorial photography to the back. Editorial photography. Here's where it gets like super crazy. I like doing this. I like doing these prompts, but you can change your own prompts. Full shot perspective is going to give you the entire image. It might change it from like an angle, give you an interesting angle. 30 megapixel is kind of the idea of the quality of the image, the detail. And I'm just pulling up my notes here because I've got a bunch of these prompts that I've saved that I really like using. And this one is like what's crazy. Okay, so I got 30 megapixel. I'm gonna hide this. Or sorry. All right, so down here at the bottom, you can see what I'm typing in. I've added full shot perspective, 30 megapixel. I just added 85 millimeter lens. I want it to have sharp focus, high level of sharpness. I want it to have depth of field, 35 millimeter. So maybe let's just pick, instead of have 35 and 85, we'll just do one lens, right? And I'm gonna go ahead, yeah, let's change this up a little bit. We've got, hang on here. Okay. All right, so now we're gonna change it, right? We're doing chocolate. While this thing is working, I'm gonna work on something else. And this is why you can create thousands of these, which is what's nuts, right? We've done the slash, we've done imagine, so it knows that we're gonna imagine something. Now we're gonna do a tequila glass bottle. Um, we want it to be, what do we want it inspired by? We'll do agave cactus. Um, sure. And we'll do packaging design because that's what we want. We want a little bit of green and yellow in here. And then scorpion. All right. Scorpion. Anything else? Just throw whatever you guys want, throw it in here. Let's see what we can create together. This stuff gets pretty nuts pretty quick. So I'm just pulling stuff out over here. I'm gonna do, okay, I've added diffuse backlighting. So there'll be some lighting in the background, kind of like mine, where it's a little bit soft. Um, we're gonna add small catch light, right? So if you could see my eyeballs, which are pretty small, there's a little bit of light in there reflecting from this light here. That's the catch light. It's just catching that light, and it's gonna have low contrast, and it's gonna be epic lighting. So think of um, like a big cinematic experience, cinematic, and we're gonna do photography. I spell it right, otherwise you're gonna screw it up. So we got photography, and we're gonna change that photography to product photography. The tutorial at return. Well, that's working. Let's take a look at this. So now we've got these three different designs. This one's beautiful. This one shows it in a box. It's not quite up what I wanted, but you can get a little bit more detailed, right? So now you come back in, you can copy this entire post, right? Or you can click on this little arrow that's happening here. That is a re-roll. That means that you're going to just roll the dice on that again. It'll deliver something completely different than if I was to do this and paste the same thing in here. It's weird. It just depends on which way it's going. Um, we got chocolate bar, plastic wrap. We're gonna add shiny plastic wrapper, packaging design, friendly, all natural, blah, blah, blah. Let's get rid of Mark Gonzalez and just keep it Banksy, see if how that changes it. But what's important is display. Where do we have it in the box? We're going to do 6 bars. This. So this one instantly created these crazy images. Let's go ahead and upscale some of these so you can see them closer. But you can see the agave happening here. I don't see much of the scorpion inspiration happening on any of these. Maybe some of these textures that are happening here, but let's go ahead and just try that one more time. Where does the photography come from? Like, what do you mean? Where does the where does the, like, where do the terms come from? Or where do the images come from? Right, so, like, if we're talking about the terms, you know, I've shot a ton of photos, so I've got, I can have an idea in terms of what lenses I would wanna use, what kind of, terminology I would wanna use for that, like, what describes it. Do I have a coupon code? No, just jump on there, dude. I wish there was. Um, it's insane, right? But, like, the images that come out, I mean, it looks like photography. I mean, this looks like an image that I just took a picture of, that I just paid somebody, you know, thousands of dollars for product photography. And you saw this in real time, right? Like, we just did this together. It even has like the chopped up agave ball for tequila, like crazy. Um, so yeah, the quality of these images, and like I said, this one we've upscaled. Down along the bottom here, it says, make variations of this one. Do a light upscale redo, which will make it a little bit. It'll make some fine adjustments. It'll make it a little bit larger for you to download, or you can do the beta upscale redo, which is like a completely large image, and you can do it. So, can you add your own reference images? Yeah, absolutely. So, let's go. Hang on, I'm going to pull up. You won't be seeing this, but um, I don't know. Let's see. What do you want me to pull up, Gene? What kind of a reference image are you thinking about? You're thinking about that. I'm pulling up some images, a bottle style. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So, I've pulled up an image of Jack Daniels, good old Tennessee. I'm saving that image to my downloads, and then a an art style. So I'm gonna do these. All right, so I downloaded two images. You can do two images at a time. Down here, there's a little plus button. I click on that. This is upload a file. Right. So I'm gonna go to. I'm finding my image here. Right. So you can see the image there. I'm gonna add another one. Upload another image. Um, I didn't do anime, but I grabbed Malika Favre. But let me get some anime here. And I'm just pulling some random stuff, dude. So don't judge me. Right. So upload. Right, some of these images won't let you pull them down. All right. So one more here. Upload. Okay. Now I hit return. What you're doing is these images are going into the server. Right. So now what you got to do is you have to click it, copy the link, right? Because now it's created an instance of this image on the web. I'm going to do imagine. I'm going to paste that link to that image. I hit a space, click on this image, copy link, paste that image, right? So I can hit return if I wanted to. But if I wanted to create what do I want it to do? So I want it to do packaging design for anime inspired glass bottle. Right. So now I don't know what we're going to get. the AI doesn't know what we're going to get. It just brings it all together and shares it. I didn't type in if I want it to be a 3D render. I didn't ask it to be a photo, a sculpture. This could just be. I might just come back with a bottle that looks like it's it's been drawn in an anime style. I don't know, but we get to kind of go in there and pick some stuff out. So it instantly it's recognizable as Jack Daniels, but it's thinking. All right, this is the thinking process. What you get at the end is going to be completely different from what you're seeing today. So, if you're creating mood boards, how do you translate it to more strategically focused design? Um, well, just like that. So, it threw again. I didn't give it any details, and look, you can kind of see this feels like it's been drawn in an anime style. Plus, you have the anime in the background. This is probably not what you were looking for, but it gives you that option. I'm going to go ahead and hide this. All right, so you want to create a more strategically focused design, right? So just the way that you work, um, when you kind of go through your question list and how do you define the brand, those terms that you're using to define the brand are the terms that you're putting in here. The styles that make sense for it would go in here. Obviously, if it's not anime, if anime has nothing to do with the brand that you're working with, you wouldn't put it in here, right? If it's more of like a street brand, then it would go in here. If it's more, it's like all those different things. You let it create. But yeah, it's a great starting point, and you can generate thousands of these images in seconds. So you can be working on design for client A while you're typing in prompts for client B just to get an idea of where that's going. You can, and that was just like packaging design. You can do structure. Like I've typed in structural design for packaging. It comes back with like the craziest things. That's early. Nobody's doing a lot of structural design in AI, so it doesn't have a lot of references and experience to pull from. So the more you do, the more it learns, the better it becomes. Um, Typography sucks on here. You can create like one letter at a time and do some really cool stuff with lettering, but it's not there yet. But if you look at version 1 typography compared to version 4, which we're at now, the typography on here is amazing compared to what it was at before. It doesn't read anything specifically. It just has like some gibberish letters in there. But the way that I kind of look at this is if you've ever seen, any video of, um, some musical artist writing a song, like they'll be playing the music and then they'll just be humming, right? They'll just be humming the form of the words. And then they go back in and they plug in like what word sounds like this. How do you get that rhythm? This is kind of like what you're doing, right? You're not designing it, but you're just shaping it. You're taking nothing, just a cloud of words and creating a starting point, something that you can now chisel away, find the right font type, find the right colors, adjust the shape, talk to a manufacturer. Hey, how close can we get to this? Like, what can we do? What else can we do? But you're getting to this point in seconds, as you saw. We've been on here for a little bit less than 40 minutes. We've created a ton. We've got four. Oh my gosh, we've created like almost 30 different packs um, in 40 minutes. So again, midjourney.com, discord.com. When you do create something, share it on LinkedIn. Do me a favor, tag packaging AI. That's a page I created to share a lot of this packaging design and style. There's a lot happening there. You can gather inspiration in there. You can ask questions, whatever it is what you want to do, let me know. And if you decide to jump on here and start doing some stuff and you do have questions while you're at it, DM me. I'm happy to help you. This is amazing stuff that's happening at the moment. Let's see. Can you use current package design and tell the AI to give you different? 100%. But like I said, if you've got typography on there, it's not going to come back and adjust the type. It'll just come back with something different. And it may not be what you want, but then you can refine using the different prompts. It's all about that copy and the way that you're talking to this piece of equipment that makes a huge difference. Do it, try it. The only way that you're going to get better is just jumping in. This was, for me, this was kind of scary at the beginning. Like I logged in, I'm like, I did it. It wasn't great. And I stopped doing it. Then I reached out to somebody that I knew and I said, "Hey, can you just help me get started?" And this is basically what we did. We did like this step by step. Log on here, do this, try this, just find out what the machine even thinks about this particular thing you're trying to create. If it doesn't have any base images, put some images in, share some stuff with it, and then just start chiseling away. What kind of style do you want? Do you want it to be friendly? Do you want it to be red? Do you want it to be black? Do you want it to be angry? Do you want it to be photorealistic? The other thing that I will share with you before we go, and this is one thing that I didn't share, is this here, which is really cool. And then we got to go. Um, all right. So if you go into your Midjourney website, you can see everything that's been created by you. Right. This is all the stuff that we created today. Right. There's one, two. There's like just it was like over 40. But there's this community feed. You can click on the community feed. You can see what everybody is creating. This is what's hot right now. What everybody is creating at the moment. There's a lot of this like humanoid, cyborg stuff. You're getting a lot of cats on here. There's a lot of stuff that's happening that's like photorealistic. If you like some of these styles, right? A lot of dragons, you know, you can click on it. You can scroll down here and it tells you what they typed in, right? So they got orange, black background, Yoji Shinkawa. I don't know who that is. So now I'm going to Google and see what kind of illustration style that is. It's obviously something like this, but these are things that you can then put into your prompts, right? And if you wanted to, you could just copy this prompt and paste it and see what you get. It's not going to be the same thing. You can copy this and change some of the words in here. But you can see like the quality, like the quality of the image is mind blowing. All right, guys. So super quick. Like I said, this was an intro. You're welcome. I'm glad this was pretty straightforward. But yeah, this is like just we're just scratching the surface. What I want is for you not to be afraid of the software and be like, oh my God, this is going to take over my job. It's another tool. It'll probably take over your job at some point, but it's another tool that you have to use and you have to get in front of it. You have to learn how to use it because it's another tool that you can use. If you're one of the designers that's not using it because you feel like I'm not designing it, I can't let somebody else do it for me, then you're going to get left behind. Right. And this is now being applied in a lot of different areas. Right. There's AI that creates music for you. You can pick, I want Jimi Hendrix on guitar. I want John Bonham on the drums. I want Sheryl Crow vocals. Like what? I mean, it'll create new songs for you. It'll, there's stuff out there that'll create, copywriting. It'll write copy for you. There's a lot of different AI out there that's doing different things. This is just one of them in visual. Right. And think of once all of this stuff comes together, and the more that this learns, the better it's going to get. If you don't know how to use it and you don't know how to prompt it, you're the one that's going to be left behind. So don't be afraid of it. Jump in, use it. Like I said, tag Packaging AI. And if you're not following Packaging AI, do so. There's a lot of cool stuff happening there. That's it. That's it for me, guys. Have a great weekend. I hope you had a great Thanksgiving. If you're here in the US, continue to leave comments. If you have any questions, just shoot me a DM. Looking forward to it. All right, guys. Thanks so much.